As if you needed another reason not to go traipsing around the swamps of the American South, the alligator snapping turtle brings a few hundred pounds of armored power to the equation. But swamps aren't really known for having crystal clear water. So how can you see where you're going and, more importantly, where that hillbilly noodler's toe is? It's all about using your throat here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal information. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
Thank you to Cassie for the creation of this theme song, our theme song. To hear more of Cassie's music, please search Cassie Michelle on YouTube or Spotify.
And thank you to Johanna for the creation of this week's artwork. To check that out, you can visit us at our home on the web at ldtaxonomy.com. And a very special thank you to our patrons, to Tristan Taylor, Jesse Raspolich, Carol Raspolich, and Richard Kaspar. Thank you so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on.
And today we're talking about the swamp's angriest stone, but more on that later.
Yes. This is a mean rock from the sun. If you didn't, and you'll hear this in the intro, but I'll say it again. As if you needed another reason not to go into fresh Florida water.
Yeah.
We have this bad boy, this spiny bad boy, and not Justin Timberlake from NSYNC.
Yeah.
He's a different kind of spiny bad boy. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the alligator snapping turtle.
Almost an alligator guard, didn't you?
Yeah, that might be some foreshadowing. The alligator snapping turtle, the spiky, it's Bowser. It's Bowser for real. And Bowser in real life is right here.
Yeah, when I mentioned this to Bibby, she was like, "Oh, it's Bowser." And she was trying to come up with nicknames, and she was trying to work Bowser in there, and it wasn't really working. But it's also known as the loggerhead snapping turtle. But we're gonna call it here Snap, Crackle, and Bop. Biter House rules, and one that you'll love, Full Throttle. Gross. Yeah. You want to taxonomize this?
Sure, if we have time. If time permits.
I think we do.
We're in the kingdom. Love NRN, the kingdom Animalia. The phylum is Chordata. Big spiky spine. The class is Reptilia. The order is Testudines. Testudines, yeah. One
Turtles.
of the houses in Dune.
There's house... Oh man, now I can't think of a single house from...
Atreides?
Atreides, yeah, that's the good guy house. And House Harkonnen is the evil house. And then House Testudines. It's just a bunch of turtles.
It's the turtle
Space turtles.
The suborder is not an Italian on Italian 5 grain from Publix. It is Cryptodyra.
5 grain? Oh, white bread. If I'm gonna go out and get a sub, I'm just gonna go all in and get the white bread.
Italian 5 grain is like the everything bagel of hoagie rolls.
Oh no, not white bread. Italian herbs and cheeses. Is there even another option?
Yeah, there's Italian herbs and cheeses.
Yeah,
there's Italian 5 grain and Italian herbs and cheeses.
That's my Subway bread every single time is Italian herbs and cheeses.
Oh, is that? I'm talking Publix.
Oh, I'm thinking Subway. Forgot. Pub subs do that.
The family is Chelidridae. Chelidridae? Chelidridae? That's what you would say. Yeah, you like to put the emphasis in the middle.
Yeah, because I'm an English. I am. I am one English.
Technically, mine was also in the middle. It's just a separate part of the middle. The genus is Macrocheles.
Macrocheles?
No, it's Macrocheles.
No, you're right. It's
And
like
the species.
what is it? Megamind, where he calls it Metropolis or Metrocity instead of Metro City.
And the species is Teminki. Macrocheles teminki.
Yeah, it's a weird like TEMMINCKII.
Yeah, there's more. If you imagine the word teminki, and then there's more letters.
Yeah, just throw take what you're imagining Teminki and then like throw in some committee. Just double all the letters.
Yeah. Committee looks like it was decided. The spelling was decided by committee.
Yes.
But
since we're in the business of naming things, it's time for my favorite part of the show, Critter Groups. Part of the show where I ask you, Joe, a question, and that question is the same every time. What is the name of a group of this animal, or what is the term of entry, or what is the collective noun if you saw a group of turtles? Would you say it's A, a bale of turtles, B, a crock of turtles, C, a shuttle of turtles, or D, a plat of turtles?
I will have a wonderful time if it is a shuttle of turtles. That's fun to say. So I'm gonna hope against hope and say it's that.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Only fools hope, Joe.
It's not a shuttle of turtle.
No, it's a bale of turtles.
Isn't
it
shuttle
obvious?
Of turtles scuttling.
A scuttling shuttle of turtles.
Yeah. I love
a totally scuttling shuttle of turtles. I love it.
Wielding
yes,
shuttles.
They're all holding shuttles. Shunting.
That's a Mario.
Shuttles.
That's a Mario level.
Shuttle?
Yeah, it's
the whole thing.
It's like those guys that throw the hammers. Just a bunch of turtles throwing shuttles.
Yes. It's like, oh, that's an odd. What is that? An Egyptian gleaning weapon?
That's like in the second Mario game.
Yeah,
it's third.
It's a bale of turtles. I don't think we've done the Critter Group
sense at all. They don't live in bales. You wouldn't find one in a bale.
It's a BALE, like a bale of hay.
Not like the god that you sacrifice children to.
No, yeah, it's not
the Old Testament.
And that's Molech. Don't give Baal a bad name.
You think Baal's gonna turn down some children sacrifice? He's a monster.
Yeah,
I think he was a harvest guy. I don't know.
What a life.
Do you want to know what it looks like?
Yeah.
So I've been listening to a podcast called Dudesy, which is I just started it. I don't know if I'd recommend it because I think the idea, the whole premise of it is that it is produced by an AI. So there's two guys that like have an AI make all the decisions of what the segments are, and an AI will like come on and give them direction. So it's like it's a podcast produced by an AI, but I'm pretty sure after watching 3 episodes that it's fake. Even though an AI could do what it's doing nowadays, I think it's fake. So because we had time constraints, I had, for the description, I used Grammarly's new AI writing tool.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
It wrote the description. And I selected casual because it was giving me stuff that sounded like a Wikipedia page. So I was like, give it to me casual. And now it's funny.
Give me a BuzzFeed article.
Okay, so here it is without derivation. The description as written by an AI. And I didn't do this for the rest of it because it's a little silly. So here we go. So have you ever seen an alligator snapping turtle? They have a big old head. Oh, with a dash, it says. They have a big old head and a thick shell with 3 rows of scales on their back. Kind of like a dinosaur, right?
That's casual.
Kind of like a dinosaur, right? But one way to tell them apart from regular snapping turtles is by the raised plates and spikes on their shell. They usually come in gray, brown, black, or olive green, and they can get pretty slimy from all the algae they hang out with. Oh,
okay.
It just remembered. Oh, and check out those yellow patterns around their eyes. Helps them blend in with the environment. And get this.
I feel like they're trying to sell me an alligator snapping turtle.
I know, right? And
I kind of want one now.
They even have fleshy eyelashes arranged in a star shape.
You had me at fleshy. Shut up and take my money.
How cool is that? Fleshy eyelashes arranged in a star shape. Well, I have to see a picture now.
Star-shaped fleshy eyelashes?
Snapping turtle eyelash. Brother to Billy Eyelash. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's like this eyeballs in the center of a starfish kind of thing.
You're gonna. This is. It was a crazy couple of years of the Eyelash family when it came to having kids. Like the first one was Billy, and she was such a handful that they named the next one Fleshy snapping turtle Eyelash.
That's all I got for that. Do you have? Would you like to know how big it is in relatable terms?
Sure.
Welcome to the Beloved Measure Up segment, the official listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show when we present the animal signs and dimensions in relatable terms through a quiz that's fun for the whole family. It's also part of the show that's introduced by you when you send in audio of yourself saying, singing, or chittering. The words measure up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We don't have a new measure up intro this week, but I'm sure we can call up a snapping turtle to introduce itself.
I did not know these things made a sound.
Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
I guess it's clicking. Oh, there's the hiss.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that sounds like a zombie.
It's a deep hiss.
That is not an alligator snapping turtle. That's a like the AI said. You can tell by the way they raise their shells. They're a woman's turtle. No time to smell.
Did it say that
in this video? It didn't. It said you can tell by the difference between the alligator snapping turtle and other snapping turtles by the raised ridges on the shell. And the one in the video has a smooth shell.
Oh, yeah, that's just a plain old common snapping turtle.
Let's talk length. They're notably but long. So they're 31.8 inches long. How many alligator snapping turtles go into the longest ever alligator gar?
Ooh, that was foreshadowing your little almost Freudian slip there at the beginning. 2. Final answer.
Would you like to hear the hint? The hint is the alligator gar is a large fish with a jaw filled with sharp teeth. Though they are sizable and sharp-toothed, they rarely pose a threat to humans and only threaten anglers that try to land them in boats. In fact, there are no confirmed reports of a gar intentionally going after a human.
They are pretty intimidating looking. There was one in the lake I grew up next to. I grew up, yes, in that lake.
You said 2? Are you finalizing that answer?
Yeah, I think this is about 5.5, 6 feet long.
The correct answer is 3.1.
Ooh,
The largest
lucky.
one on record was 8 feet and 5 inches, or 256 centimeters. That's long enough. That's a gator-sized alligator gar. And you'd think, like, they're just going to chomp down on some human feet when the human feet's waiting in their waters. But they don't, for some reason.
It's a 10-foot carnivorous fish.
It's
Also
probably-
in Florida waters.
Maybe they have good vision. Yeah. Maybe they have
But-
good vision and they know what they want to eat, whereas an alligator will eat anything that's, like, moving. So...
But, I mean, at least this is one scary-looking thing that you, I guess, don't have much to worry about.
yeah.
You can focus on all of the rest of
gators.
it. The gators,
Yeah.
the water moccasins, the pythons, and the alligator snapping turtles.
Let's talk weight. They're 176 pounds. How many alligator snapping turtles go into the biggest piece of candy? Here's a
Is it a
hint.
jawbreaker?
The largest. If you can have 5% if you can guess what kind of candy it is.
Oh, I guess it's not a jawbreaker then.
I'll give you a hint. You really like it.
I really like it. I like lots of candy. That's not great. It's probably not a nerd. Those are famously small pieces of candy.
If it was big, it would be a jock.
You want to eat a box of jocks?
They shatter your jaw. You might have some in your house right now.
Oh, is it a Werther's original?
It's not a Werther's original, but it is a butterscotch.
Oh, yeah, I would love butterscotch. It's the caramel of the Werther's original that I love. Butterscotch is pretty good too.
I thought Werther's original was butterscotch.
No, it's caramel. Caramel.
The largest candy was a piece of butterscotch that was made in Norway in 1997 by the candy company Nidar.
That sounds like the Norse god of candy. If I made up a pantheon, there would definitely be like a candy deity.
Candy deity.
All these deities about like rain and harvest and children sacrifice. That's
Candy.
That's
He
been
made
done
candy
before.
deity. You had a guess? How big was this candy?
I think this candy was 6 feet in diameter. Yeah.
So how many weights is that?
Oh wait, this is weight. Goodness. Piece of candy. I don't know. I'm gonna make this up. I'm gonna say 5. Answer's 5.
5 turts.
Five turts go into the big butterscotch boy.
That's turts is what are legal cases that turtles bring to one another. The correct answer is 20 turts.
Whoa, this is a heavy
The
boy.
butterscotch was 1.6 tons, or 3,527 pounds.
That's something that Indiana Jones would have to run away from as it was rolling after him.
Yeah. I hope it was square.
I hope they do that in Indiana Jones 5 when geriatric Harrison Ford is having to run away from a 3,000-pound butterscotch. But it's really an allegory for aging.
Yes, and you
and he's
can't
just
outrun it.
So the movie actually ends up being way deeper than we think it's going to be. Wow, that's a heavy piece of candy, and I'm sure that Ed and Eddie would be very jealous about that jawbreaker.
Well, that's all I got for that. Would you like to hear some fast facts before we get into the major fact?
I would. Sure thing.
Okay. The alligator snapping turtle is mostly found in the freshwaters of the southeastern United States. It can also be found. It can be found from the Florida Panhandle to East Texas, as far north as southeastern Kansas, Missouri, southeastern Iowa, western Illinois, southern Indiana, western Kentucky, Louisiana, and western Tennessee. Very specific regions of very specific states.
Well, it's like this swath that goes like up into the Midwest. Southern Indiana is pretty far north.
Yeah. Only female turrets usually venture into open land. Otherwise, they're in the water, but they need to go on land to nest. So in most cases, they are found in bodies of water that flow into the Gulf of Mexico. They particularly like shady areas of water with tree canopy overhead. There is a non-native invasive population in South Africa. Finally, a Floridian animal is invading somewhere else instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
We got
Fight
plenty
fire
of
with
African
fire.
animals here.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you gave us pythons and lionfish? Well, here, have an alligator snapping turtle.
We'll fight them on the beaches, on the shores, and the Floridians are going abroad.
V is for victory, you guys.
The opportunistic carnivores that eat fish, mollusks, dead stuff, amphibians, and snakes and snails and worms and other invertebrates, crawfish, insects, water birds, aquatic plants. So that's not carnivore. Yeah, that's not very carnivore of you. But they'll eat aquatic plants and other turds, which is not very kind or kosher. And they'll also, in some cases, eat small alligators. And if given the opportunity, the express opportunity, they'll munch on a human finger if you want them to, or if you weren't careful.
Yeah, it seems like you kind of have to. Yeah, you have to have started it.
Yeah, well, yeah, or a tootsie they might eat.
Yeah, the scary thing is that it's just like a big rock, basically at the bottom of the swamp, and you step on it, and suddenly it is actually an armored dinosaur.
I think Coyote Peterson gets bitten by one of these guys.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like on the fleshy part of the arm. They will hunt actively during the night, but they will become ambush predators during the day, attracting fish to their mouths with two worm-like protrusions on their tongue.
It's like if you go about your day, and then in order to eat, you cast your line in with a fishing pole and fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the morning, you hopefully have some food.
Yeah. That's all I got for fast facts. Does this big turtle have any big facts?
Oh, big turtle, big facts, big cereal.
Can't lose.
The alligator snapping turtle. Oh, so this one's called Always Follow Your Throat. Which is one of Gandalf's most memorable lines from The Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
The alligator snapping turtle lives in pretty murky waters. Florida is.
What makes them pretty?
It's their eyes.
The sunsets.
It's the fleshy filamentous eyelashes that we mentioned earlier that makes them so pretty. And don't call me Shirley kind of pun. Or play on words. So because it lives in these.
For.
What?
That's what pun stands for.
Pow. Play on words.
That's a fun thing to do whenever. Pun. Did you know that pun stands for play on words? And then people are like, wait a minute. No.
So because it lives in murky waters, like many animals that have to live in low visibility conditions, it does not rely on its eyesight to find prey. Although Florida does have some crystal clear springs, I would say the majority of its waterways are pretty murky. or I won't say pretty murky again. I said that already.
Handsomely murky.
Relatively opaque. The most animals that can't or don't use their eyes, they smell with their noses instead. But that's not much of an option underwater, although we have seen some interesting ways that animals can find their way around murky water, like we talked about the star-nosed mole that like breathes out a bubble over its prey and then sucks the bubble back in and says, that smelled like earthworm, and then eats it. So that's how it hunts underwater. And then you have like the electric eel that can sense electric currents in the water and also uses them to disable prey. But the snapping turtle uses something called gular pumping. This is like the
buckle pumping,
buckle or buccal pumping that air-breathing fish like the snakehead or mud skipper do, but it involves basically vacuum pumping water into a Soviet throat prison called the Gular. And Soviet Throat Prison is my favorite industrial sludge metal band.
That's pretty good.
The snapping turtle, I mean, if you ever look up like sludge and doom and death metal bands, like it's hilarious. The names of some of these things. Anyway, the snapping turtle has these chemosensory organs similar to olfactory sensory organs inside their gulars, that which is a distinct section of the throat that allows them to detect things like nearby fish and tasty dead things to eat. So other animals like lizards do some good old-fashioned gular pumping. There's another. I typed it. "ol" with an apostrophe.
Huh. There you go.
I'm an AI. You've been hosting this show with an AI for the last like 6 years.
Maybe AI is better than we think.
Yeah.
It knew what we needed more than we knew. We needed an ol.
Maybe I'm the replicant. But lizards use gular pumping to help them breathe. It feeds air into their lungs. The snapping turtle gets a big gulp of water, and then so it'll kind of face in a direction, get a big gulp of water, and be like, "I think there's food that way." Some good swamp meat, which is very different than the swamp meat.
Although it's not that different.
Can you get swamp meat at the swamp meet?
Maybe.
I don't. That doesn't sound like a very good place to get swamp meat. I'd have to go to the swamp.
You might consider catfish swamp meat. Gator tail.
Sure, gator tail. Yeah, that's swamp meat. In the intro, I mentioned noodling. This, people like will go.
Oh man.
And this is like after reading about the alligator snapping turtle, I'm like, I'm even more never gonna do this, which is going into like knee-high water in a swamp area
and putting your hand in a hole.
Putting your hand in front of a hole where you think or know that a catfish is, and just wiggling your fingers, and then the catfish bites your fingers, and then you pull it up, and now you've caught a fish. You
know what else burrows in underwater holes?
All the things you're not supposed to have bite
crocodiles. That's not good.
Alligators, snakes, and the alligator snapping turtle. You can just have all your fingers just bitten off by one of those things with a staple remover for a face. Next time you see a staple remover, every time I've seen a staple remover, I'm like, this is the snapping turtle. And it's always been, it's just been my snapping turtle toy. Even earlier today, I was playing with my snapping turtle toy. But it's got like it looks exactly like the snapping turtle's mouth. Ultimately the snapping turtle literally smells with its throat. We take in chemicals into our nose through the air. They take in chemicals into their throat via the water. We talked about So 2 weeks ago, we talked about a bird that breathes through its bones. And now we're talking about a turtle that smells with its throat. What's next? What other weird topsy-turvy things will we discover in the animal kingdom?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a crazy shark we'll talk about here in a bit that will add to the list.
Crazy shark, do 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 do.
Oh, that's a new song. How's that go again? Oh, that's pretty catchy.
Do your kids like that? Or are they down that train?
More than life itself. That's the first song that Riley sings all the way through. It's the way that we pacify situations is we just start singing that song.
More than life itself.
The little baby bum TV show, British cartoon TV show that we watch has like maybe 30 different versions of that song.
Oofta.
So
where's Daniel Tiger coming in clutch with a better song?
At this point, as soon as if you had continued singing, my brain would have actually, as a defense mechanism, shut my ears off, and not like I wouldn't be able to hear it. It would have actually like selectively removed that from my attention.
You would just self-lobotomized, like your brain would have eaten itself.
No, it's just very good at compartmentalizing. It's like, oh, we don't.
You would have dissociated.
We don't need this stimulus. You can. Congratulations, Carlos's brain. You can no longer hear it.
You would have dissociated like you were in a horrible car accident, and you needed to watch yourself be taken care of by the paramedics.
Yeah. Well, there's just sometimes where like the kids are saying something, and they're at the stage where they'll find the word or couple of words that they want to say, and then they will say it over and over and over and over again, like water, 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 outside, 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 and they'll do that over and over and over again, and it drives Bibby up a wall, but my brain protects me. And so I'm just sitting there like washing dishes or doing something, and you know, she started to get frustrated, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't at what? Oh, they're saying something.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a superpower. You discovered a power. Every time you learn a word, it's like a power.
Oh,
it's like I say this. Yeah, I say this and I get it. Sometimes.
I say this and my parents get upset at me. If I say it enough. Trains, 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 trains.
Yeah, they also learn that you can abuse your power, and it backfires. If you try to summon the trains too hard, you summon anger, you summon wrath.
Yeah, you got to sacrifice to the train god, the Canaanite train god. Choo choo Charles. All right, that brings it not even close to full circle. So, do you have anything else about the alligator snapping turtle?
That's all I got.
All right, so that's the alligator snapping turtles. For you out there in Podcastia, nestle into a swamp bed, stick your tongue out, and practice your coolar pumping like the alligator snapping turtle here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Hey Taxonomy Titans, I just want to remind you that we now have a Patreon. Patrons can see full video episodes and get shoutouts on the show. But ultimately, it's a way for you to help us cover some costs and get even better. Still, reviews are the best way to help us grow. So if you haven't left one yet, we'd really love to hear from you. As always, thanks for listening and engaging.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
I like to imagine that gular pumping sounds like Mongolian throat singing.
Or like a didgeridoo.